This is the Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government in Nairobi and Professor Mutahi Nguni. The civil war in ODM is not a fight between a right and a wrong. It is a fight between two rights. The Oburu faction is right, and the Sifuna faction is also right. The tragedy, though, is this. Both rights are incompatible. And as a result, they have created what political scientists call a crisis of dual legitimacy. The pro-Ruto faction is legitimate, and the anti-Ruto faction is also legitimate. This crisis of dual legitimacy must be resolved with the complete victory of one faction or the destruction of both. Nothing describes this better than the game of chicken, which is a variant of game theory. Imagine two angry rivals speeding towards each other full throttle on a narrow road. Each has two choices. One, to swerve and live, but appear weak and be called a chicken. Or two, stay the course and risk death, but project dominance and win. The gods have called ODM to play this game of chicken. If both factions swerve, they survive and preserve ODM. If one faction swerves, they will be called chickens and cowards in the political marketplace. But if neither swerves, they will both die. This is the ODM dilemma after Baba.
ODM is at war. One faction has to decimate the other, and if they choose the game of chicken, where no one swerves, they will crash into each other. The two factions will die, and Raila's legacy will be buried in the grave of antiquity. But there's another way out. In the theory of war, we have two types of approaches: attrition and maneuver. Attrition is about decimating your enemy completely. This is what Hitler used against the French in May 1940. It was called Blitzkrieg, or the War of Lightning. It was about speed over depth. In the case of ODM, the faction that masters speed over depth, or Blitzkrieg, will carry the day. And as Mzee Moi taught us, you must do unto others before they do you. The faction that fixes the other faction with speed will win. The alternative to the War of Lightning or Blitzkrieg is the War of Maneuver. It is about collapsing the moral and mental capabilities of your opponent using minimal force. Which of the ODM factions has the capability of collapsing the opponent slowly using maneuver? Let us summon historical evidence from the Russian Revolution of 1917 and how the Bolsheviks beat the Mensheviks and led the revolution. This is for Dr. Oburu, who has a PhD in economics from Russia.
The year was 1903, and like ODM, the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party split into two, the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks, and the split is very similar to the breakup of ODM. Of the two factions, the Bolsheviks were a practical wing supported by the workers and soldiers. They believed in speed, they wanted revolution now, they rejected patience, they did not want to wait for history, they forced it. They knew that history bends under pressure, and that power is not awaited, it is taken. Their slogan to the workers and soldiers was simple: peace, land, bread, period. On their part, the Mensheviks were about gradual change. It was a faction made up of intellectuals who spent hours debating. Revolution was not a priority to them. They wanted the war of maneuver to collapse the moral and mental capabilities of the Tsar, slowly until he breaks down. But this did not work. Both the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks had legitimacy and following, but the principle of speed over depth gave the Bolsheviks power. And in our view, the Sifuna ODM has the semblance of the Bolsheviks. If they are capable of Blitzkrieg, the War of Lightning, they will win. However, who said
that Ruto wants to win 2027 through ODM? 0. Whichever side wins, Ruto wins. Allow us to explain.
As ODM was falling apart this week, the Sifuna faction blamed Ruto. They actually said that Ruto was behind the firing of ODM Secretary General Edwin Wafula, whatever his name is. And maybe this is true. Then, the Oburu faction blamed the collapse of ODM on Uhuru Kenyatta. They claimed that he is funding the ODM split because his mother told him to. And maybe this is also true. No idea. But there is one thing we hold true as a country. ODM is a party of intellectuals, unlike DCP, which is a party of heroic failures and political Casanovas. If ODM is a party of intellectuals, why are they blaming Ruto and Uhuru for its collapse? Don't they know that they want ODM to collapse? That's not obvious to intellectuals. If the two factions of ODM do not hang together, they will be hung separately. Two ODM drivers have each been put in the red car and the blue car. It is called the game of chicken or coward. The Sifuna car is red and Uhuru is the owner. And the Oburu car is blue and the owner is Ruto. The owners of the two cars will not swerve. They will crash into each other. Then collect the ODM remains and make them theirs. This is the plan.
Ruto does not want to win 2027 through ODM. Whichever faction wins in ODM, Ruto wins. And if ODM collapses, Ruto wins. Allow me to explain. Ruto is using the Moi cookbook of politics. Moi was president because of the tyranny of small numbers. He used small pockets of nondescript Kenyans collected from all corners of the earth. And he ruled for 24 years. As a student of Arap Moi, Ruto will use the tyranny of small numbers. He will kill the dominance of big voters like Kikuyus. TJ Mboya taught us that all it takes to govern Kenya is 2 big tribes and 1 small one. And Ruto is out to dismantle this adage from one of our founding fathers. Here is the plan. If ODM collapses, Ruto gets some numbers, say 40%, which is fair. Have you wondered why Joho is quiet? Maybe Ruto will take the Mombasani nation independent of ODM. How about the Luhya nation? He will take pockets from ODM. And then you have the Somalis in Wajir, Garissa, and Mandera. They have close to 2 million votes. Did you know that the voters in Kiambu, Nyeri, Murang'a, and Kirinyaga are 2.4 million votes? Same as Somalis. This collection of small numbers will become a tyranny of numbers. And that is why ODM must not worry Ruto.